Ambassador Patterson, I just want to be clear. You said that Iran, under the proposed changes, would not have access to the U.S. financial system. Does that mean they would have no even indirect access to the U.S. dollar? In other words, would the dollar be allowed to use to facilitate transactions between Iran and other countries?
They can use the dollar offshore. I mean, they can access, if a bank in Malaysia holds dollars and trades with a bank in India, yes, they could use dollars.
Okay, so that represents a change from how those regulations have been interpreted in the past, correct?
I don't believe so, sir, but I'll have to check on that.
Because I think there was a lot of talk about whether the administration, when the Iran deal, they said no access to the financial system at all, and that was very clear. And now people are saying, well, it's not necessarily going to be access because the transactions may be dollarized, but no money is going to actually come in to the U.S. financial system. But as I understand it, there were members of the administration who said even dollarized transactions were not going to be something that was going to be permitted. And so am I wrong about that? Have we been getting mixed signals throughout these many months?
I don't know, sir. This is at an extraordinarily technical level, and I'll get somebody up here who knows this subject backward and forward to talk to you.
Okay. Well, we definitely want to hear that. In terms of, there's been a lot of great questions about money going to the Palestinian Authority, and I know under the appropriations, as those are done annually, there's usually a requirement that the President asks for a waiver by certifying that there's a single Palestinian treasury and payroll, and that the Palestinian Authority is acting to counter incitement of violence against Israelis. Had those certifications been made in the last several years?
I don't know. I don't know, I don't know. Well, I'll find out.
Well, do you believe that that the Palestinian Authority is acting to counter incitement of violence against the Israelis?
This is, as you probably know, a subject of constant dialogue with us and the Palestinian Authority, and we have many discussions about this. On the issue of the single payroll, I was a little surprised at that, but we have many discussions with Minister Bashara, the Minister of Finance of the Palestinian Authority. I honestly would not expect that to be a problem, but we'll look into this.
Because there's, I think, really, really grave questions about these families of terrorists who are getting paid. A lot of them, they end up better off. Their families are better off if they commit acts of terrorism against the Israelis than if they were to just work at a normal job inside areas controlled by the Palestinian Authority. And I listened to your back and forth with the chairwoman and with Chairman Royce, but I'm just not clear. What is the administration going to do something to address this problem? Because it seems like we have money going over there. They may say it's with other funds that they're paying it, but money's fungible, so we're effectively helping them do that. So what do we do? Are we deducting the amount that we give them based on how much money they're paying families of terrorists?
Well, no, sir, because we think that our program for the Palestinian Authority is absolutely necessary, all elements of it, and particularly the advances they've made in development of the police and the justice system and the humanitarian relief that's going both into Gaza and the West Bank. But as I say, we discuss this with them, we take it up with them. There are always, in all these assistance programs, conflicting priorities, but I would just stress how important this program is for overall stability in the region.
Well, I think that if they're actually facilitating payments to families of terrorists who are killing Israelis, then we should be deducting the amount of money at a minimum. I mean, I would go further than that, but I mean, at a minimum, we can't be complicit in that. Let me ask you, there's a bill that's working its way through the House of Representatives to have the State Department categorize the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization. Does the State Department have a position on that?
The State Department's position, your administration's position for many long years has been that the Muslim Brotherhood is not a terrorist organization, that they denounced violence many years ago. I can't remember the exact year, but they denounced violence many years ago. They are a legitimate political party in a number of countries in the Middle East.
So you don't believe that they're involved with international terrorism, the Brotherhood?
I'm sure that some elements of the Muslim Brotherhood, as well as many other parties, are involved with terrorists, of course. There may be individual members who are involved, but as an organization, they denounced terrorism many years ago. I haven't seen the most recent version of the legislation, so I couldn't comment on that.
Well, I think that they're really a problem aspect of all this. And, President Sisi, he views the Brotherhood as a major threat to security in Egypt. And it seems to be, I mean, I guess, is it the administration's view still that the Brotherhood is largely a secular political organization and less an Islamist organization?
Of course, it's an Islamist organization. It is based on, it's the oldest of the Islamist organization, and of course it advocates, and did in Egypt and elsewhere, has a preference, of course, for Sharia law over what we would call typical civil law, so of course it's an Islamist organization.
Yeah, I mean, I think that their views on they do support Sharia. They have a totalitarian ideology. Certainly the treatment of women is terrible. Treatment of religious minorities is terrible. And their tentacles really stretch. They are involved, I believe, financially in supporting violent Islamist groups. And I think that they're very much a cause for concern throughout the region. I'm out of time. I thank you guys for coming, and I yield back.
Thank you so